Developing stoic-like patience is generally a good skill that you want to develop. If you're not familiar with stoicism, it's basically this principle that like life is what it is, and you have to accept it. Be patient, be steadfast, be strong. There's a lot more obviously to it. If you want to get really deep into it, you can read Marcus Aurelius's. I think it's called like Stoicism or no Meditations. That's what it is. And I've only read bits and pieces of it, but my general understanding is that it's just kind of an acceptance of what is. And when I say stoic level patience, that generally means that like you want to approach situations as kind of like a rock, amidst the storm. Because a lot of times, especially if we're wanting something to come out of whatever we're doing, we get impatient and then we just kind of give up the entire process. Like even now when it comes to like uploading videos or going to the gym or eating healthy, there's a tendency where it's like you can be very on point for a long period of time. And then it's like, well, I've done a lot. I haven't really seen a lot from it. So that just kind of gives me the impetus to stop. And the challenge with this is realizing that you just have to be patient. You kind of have to look at it like, yes, there's a goal in mind. You want to achieve something that comes out of all of this hard work, but there's no real guarantee that you'll achieve that goal. And that's really kind of, irritating and mind-boggling because if everybody was told like, okay, you're going to make $1 million, but you have to read 100 books, people would get started right away because it's very clear cut. But there are people who've read thousands of books and it doesn't really affect their income. And there are people who've read 5 books and they came across an idea and they just exploded their income. So you just generally have to do the right things irrespective of whatever comes out of it. And the only way you're going to do that is if you have this stoic level patience. And so how do you develop that? Well, you essentially just kind of have to tell yourself internally, introspectively, that I'm not necessarily doing this for something else. I'm doing this for the betterment of myself. I'm doing this to grow as a person, to strengthen my character, to have a more resolute conscience. And when you have that, you actually do grow. It might not be super obvious in the short term, but in the long term, you do kind of stand out from your peers because most people are just scrolling. Most people are just, eating whatever. Most people are just hanging out with the same folks. And there's nothing wrong for that per se, but I guess the only like wrong thing is like if you do average things, you're going to get average results. If you do above average things, you're going to get above average results. So developing this patience is just something that you kind of have to like continually tell yourself that like, okay, like nothing may come out of this, but at least I'm doing the thing. At least I'm the type of person that takes these actions to better myself. And that's a really tough pill to swallow because we're very goal-driven beings as like a species. We're very tied to outcome. We're very reward-centric. Like if you're gonna do all these things and get punished consistently, then you would stop doing those things. Like we're no different in a lot of ways than like Pavlov's dog, where it's like he rings the bell and it teaches the dog to salivate. And then, it's the same thing. It's like if we kept doing these things, we kind of want at least some kind of reward. So you have to kind of develop, little tiny treats, so to speak, that you give yourself so that you keep along this journey. But having that patience is something that's going to stick you through learning more about Stoicism. It's just a more realistic philosophy for approaching life than say something of like extreme optimism or gambling, like just having this kind of random or just kind of not caring at all. That's another one, like nihilism. That can be pretty dangerous to your overall sense of well-being. So keep that in mind. Try to stay patient. You might not get anything out of it, but what you are getting out of it is developing the type of character of somebody who puts in the work, who does the thing, and then who knows, maybe you will get rewarded. It's better than not even trying and then there's no chance. But even if you increase it by 1%, you at least have a chance at that point. So I wish that for all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.